A lot of people ask me how to vibrate in thumb position, and really it's not so different than vibrating in lower positions. So if you want to work on developing your thumb position vibrato, this video is for you. I've done other videos about vibrato. I'll link up to them here, but one simple concept that will help all vibrato is just to imagine that you're holding a can of soda and you're just shaking that can of soda. That really is cello and bass vibrato, to be honest, and you just apply that right here. Now, like I said in the intro, there's really not as much difference as you might think between vibrating in the neck positions and vibrating up here. It's mainly the angle of your arm. But at first, it can feel very different for players. I remember being kind of weirded out when I was trying vibrato up in thumb position, but once I got the concept down and got it, it really did feel quite similar. So if you haven't gotten comfortable vibrating in this part of the bass, go ahead and watch some of the videos I got linked up just so you can unlock that. And then as we get into this part of the bass, we need to just explore a few other concepts. One of the things that I think helps the most is just to take your fingers like you were in thumb position and put them on the top of the bass and just vibrate. Just make this motion. This is the motion that you will use to do thumb position vibrato. And this can kind of freak people out just because it's kind of hard to understand for some people, the angle, or just a little bit new feeling and a little disorienting, but this is really no big deal. And that's really my advice for vibrating or doing all sorts of stuff on the bass. Just find a spot on the fingerboard, not on the string necessarily, but just on the fingerboard, and practice that vibrato motion. So then for thumb position, we put it right here, practice just like that, and then do the same thing. Put your finger between the strings and just get that same motion that you were doing here, here, here. There's something about practicing vibrato, and I've found this with so many students. It's like your brain kind of short circuits after doing a little while, or it gets fatigued, and it's like diminishing returns. So I found that sprinkling a minute or so of this every day is going to yield much better results than trying to just have a frustrating hour focusing this. You'll also notice I haven't picked up my bow once yet, and it's because I am of the firm belief that this is a left arm motion that then the bow can sort of be like it's like kicking someone while they're trying to pedal a bike or something. It can really sort of mess with it. So just getting this motion down first will be a great foundation. Second finger tends to be most people's favorite vibrato finger, so I like to kind of focus on that, but then try the same thing with first finger, try it with first, second, and third down together, third finger down, and I'm just emphasizing the flexibility in the fingers. I'm almost picturing, and if you go on YouTube and watch a violinist vibrato, I'm picturing that kind of flexibility in my joints up here. I'm not trying to be like super rigid or anything. I am not letting my fingers collapse, though people do, and that there are many thoughts about that. You can absolutely have a beautiful vibrato with collapsed fingers. I just like to keep them curved. Throughout this motion, I'm going to let the thumb just be nice and free. I'm not locking it down. And then I go over and I try that between all the strings up here. I go to different areas on the bass and do that. And then finally take and just move, probably second finger to start with, over to the G string, the thinnest string. So I'll have second finger down. I'll have the other fingers nearby but loose. And I could keep first finger down if I want to, but I find that it's nice and most relaxed if I can just kind of keep one finger down. And if that starts to fatigue, which it might because now you've got a little string tension to deal with, go back to the middle of the fingerboard and again, take a break, take a break, take a break, come back to it tomorrow. Don't be in a rush. And same thing for the other fingers. You can do first finger, third finger, and if you start to feel any sort of spasming or uncontrolled motion, go back to that second finger. Slower is better than fast, and controlled is better than uncontrolled for vibrato. Now, as we start to add the bow in, I like to continue this motion, but just play like an open string. So I'll vibrate between the D and G strings, but I'll do the motion on the fingerboard. And if you notice, all of a sudden, like things start to get kind of jiggly and wiggly. Yeah, that's why I start with not the bow. It's a motion to develop, a physical gesture to develop, and then to add in the bow, which is a very different thing, right? This is now doing this, and this is doing this. I get it. And you've, to some degree at least, figured it out down here if you're watching this video. So we just need to transfer that learning up here. And again, separating things into components as much as possible, I find super helpful. So just being nice and free, and then you can move over and try vibrating a harmonic. And then try closing the string. And that speed, that, what is that on the metronome? Good old 60. So yeah, right about 60 for the metronome. Thinking of 16ths, that tends to be a nice speed for me, for a lot of people. So just you can actually practice that with the metronome. And then try just going between two notes. So I'll go maybe between A and B. I like to hang out on second finger for like a long time with this, because what you learn through the second finger will be able to transfer over to the first and third finger and even the thumb, but it's most comfortable. Your second finger is the biggest, fattest, it's in the middle of the hand, tends to work the best for this. So no need to be in a hurry and try to master third finger and first finger and all that. Just staying with one finger, second finger is totally cool in my book. And then starting to apply it a little bit beyond, maybe a scale, like a G major 1-octave scale. And you may find that it gets a little more challenging as you get up here because the angle of your arm is becoming a little bit more extreme and your hand is getting further away from your body. But don't despair. It's really only a few inches difference between here and here. And if you can get in here, you can absolutely get it here. And you will. It takes practice and just understanding this physical motion and going back always to just putting your fingers on the side of the fingerboard, getting a vibrato going here, putting it on some object. Your bass is a great object because it's right in front of you, getting that going here, putting it up here, getting that vibrato going here. And then you can experiment with different speeds for sure. I love to do a little bit slower depending on the piece. Maybe a little faster, although I'm not a huge fan on bass of super fast vibrato. Maybe a little wider, depending on the passage, depending on if you're solo or chamber, and I've done a whole video on that. So check that out and we'll see you in the next one.